MACOF, which stands for Most Awaited Car of the Year, Century, Decade, Week, Day, whatever. That's simple. What is not simple is the abbreviation for JIMNY, and I've thought of about 10 to 12 of them, which I'll drop along the review, and we can choose at the end of the night which one suits the best. You feel free to drop on the comments like Jack of all trades, ingenious marvel of the year, or simply just incredibly noisy, messy yarn balls, something like that. But first, let's take these to their natural habitat, to the off-road experience, and have some fun. Now this is possible because JIMNY is based on ladder frame chassis, which is the oldest and easily constructed chassis system. The word is ladder, which means two long and strong heavy beams supported by two short beams. Also, the 3-link rigid axle suspension system increases tire contact, which is good for terrains like this, along with coil springs, by the way. Even Mahindra Thar is based on that. And if you want to know more about the ladder chassis frame, you can click on the link right now popping on the screen. Now it's time to go for some more fun. And we are driving the automatic now again, and the approach angle is 36 degrees, departure is 50 degrees, breakover is 24. We have tested that right now, and with that it's time to drop another acronym: juggling in marshmallows, not yogurts, because that's what I can think of right now. Also, the approach angle of about 36 degrees, departure, breakover of 24 degrees all come into play. And actually JIMNY is quite a capable beast. The narrow trails is actually made for this, because since it's a very narrow SUV, it's fun. It really can go, it's actually an ambush vehicle. You can just park in the jungle, wait, camouflage yourself and attack. If you're in that sort of a business, this could make sense. But off-roading is super fun. The 3-link rigid axle suspension helps the JIMNY from tipping while traveling over rough ground or when turning. This helps to minimize the tendency of rolling and pitching of the chassis. It also has an electronic traction control system that automatically brakes slipping wheels, allowing torque to be redistributed evenly to other wheels. Now it has a water weighting capacity of around 300 plus mm. Now Mahindra Thar is about 660 mm. But with aftermarket snorkels, you can get the JIMNY up to 600 plus levels, so you can go swimming with the JIMNY. As you can see, right now I'm driving over mud, it's little sludge, and with that it's time for another acronym for JIMNY, which is just invented for mud. You and me? How's that? And once again, for its width, it can really find its way over very narrow trails, narrow streams rather, because right now we are in a little bit of a stream, and over rocks, over boulders, literally anywhere. This is so much fun. And the best part is you don't really need a spotter, because the driving position is such that you can actually see both the ends of the bonnet, and which gives you a sense of where you have to go. This has fallen because of all the driving that we're doing. So this is what you can do with a JIMNY, literally drive on top of anything and everything. And because of its weight, 1205 kgs, 10 kgs, this really makes it very agile. Look where we have come. So you can see I'm shaking a lot because I'm driving over some rough patches. The JIMNY comes with a ground clearance of 210 mm, and with that it's time to drop another acronym: Jolly in mud, navigate earningly. How's that? JIMNY gets Suzuki's All Grip Pro 4-wheel drive system with a manual transfer case and a low range gearbox with 2-wheel high, 4-wheel high and 4 low. The approach angle is lesser than Thar, the departure angle is higher than Thar, and because of a longer wheelbase, the breakover angle is less than Thar. Thar also gets a higher ground clearance. Now all of that summarizes in his individual off-roading capacities, which is for you to take your pick. The 5-slate grille and boxy design with no sunroof is the character of the Jimny. The round halogen lamps with washer looks neat. The horizontal windows prevents actually sand and dust from accumulating, and the trapezoidal wheel arches can actually accommodate bigger aftermarket tires. We have done a detailed walk around. In case you want to know, click on the pop-up link or in the description below. The grab handles for the co-passenger seat and the soft cushion seats are the highlights of the Jimny. The 7-inch MID looks spotless with a good resolution, and Apple CarPlay and Android Auto both work flawlessly and wirelessly. There is no passenger detection center for the rear seat belts. Customers would leave the black belts buckled permanently, which defeats the purpose of pushing the case of rear seat belt fastening, which is very important from a safety point of view. The boot space is 208 liters, which can be increased to 332 liters with no rear passenger sitting. The aftermarket roof carrier can also not take more than 30 kgs, so clearly you will have to travel light. There are no rear AC vents that will make rear seat passengers uncomfortable. The cabin interior is all black, where everything from switches to the dials to the touchscreen control is tactile, which is also good because you're going to drive in an outdoor environment, which means less of dust and less of dirtiness inside the cabin. Alright, off-roading check, but that's not what you do on your daily life. On daily living, you drive on the road, on the tarmac, and that's where Jimny has an edge even over Mahindra Thar. It drives very pliant. Now, Maruti Suzuki went with an older engine. This one gets a K15B engine which also makes me come to another acronym for Jimny, which stands for something like this: Jeep-inspired machine, nimble yet robust. What do you think? Now, Jimny has 103 brake horsepower and 143 Nm of torque. Now, these power figures are not something which will with the earth shattering, but when you put this on a machine which weighs about 1205 kgs, things change, because this is a very lighter machine. Mahindra Thar, for example, is about 1600 plus curb weight, so this makes all the difference. So this makes the whole car very agile. You know, when I'm driving on the road, it's just like flying, and there's no sense of lacking in power. You really don't need it. It's like it will do its job. Yes, if there is a 2-liter engine, this might just catapult it to something else, but frankly, you're good with this. This also makes it fuel efficient, though we'll test it when you get for long term. And with that, now it's time for another acronym, which is Jimny, juggling impressive mobility, nimbleness and youthfulness. How do you like this one? Drop on the comments. You get steering dampers, and the steering is very nice and chunky to hold. Turning rate is very small, but when you're reversing, you might have to use your strength because it's not that smooth to reverse. It feels very youthful, and overall it's a very nice driving height also. Now, what I don't like about the Jimny, air conditioning. It doesn't really cool you that fast, and the blower speed is really annoying. It makes a lot of noise. Only that is responsible for the NVH levels to be so high inside the cabin. Second is the music system. The speakers are not the best, you know. Even at the highest point, you won't get that thumping music. So you have to really enjoy the car. You have to enjoy the Jimny for what it is. And driving around these twisties, I can think of one more acronym for Jimny, which is jetting in mountains, navigating Yearningly with a Y. And before we conclude for the Jimny, let me give you the last acronym for this. Jimny: joyful, iconic, muscular, naughty and youthful. Perhaps that summarizes the Jimny in the best possible way. Only thing I do not like about Jimny is its width. It is narrow. People sitting behind, if you're overweight and oversized, then you'll tend to brush shoulders to each other. Apart from that, everything is just superb about Jimny. It really glides well on a tarmac, and even surface like this, You can literally make any rodeo highway because we have driven this over every stretch and this feels good. Unlike the Mahindra Thar, which sometimes I find it too raw for a tarmac environment, this one really drives very well on the road. So basically this car can summarize your everyday living, also an adventurous living. What I also don't like about the Jimny is that they should give us an option, just like the 5-door, they should give us an option of a wider Jimny. This would give us so much more better. But then if you do that, this loses the title of being a mountain goat, because if you want to be a mountain goat with the 1200 kg curb weight, then you need to be narrow, because this, when you drive around Dehradun in these hills, it just finds its way up so fast. Thar loses in this stance, but at the same time Thar has more power. So all in all, Jimny is a good car. I'll wait for the price announcement to become. When that happens, that will truly state the Jimny affordability factor, because whatever I see, this should be priced very aggressively because they haven't really packed with a lot of features. I would have liked a 360-degree camera, a high resolution reverse camera, which is missing, which I understand maybe they're trying to cut costs. They have really put all of that power steering, etc., less of electronics, which is a standard Maruti, and this is going to come from a Maruti stable, which will make this proposition so much better. What do you think of the Jimny? Please drop on the comments. Wait for the price announcement, decide for yourself. But whatever, this is a very cute looking SUV for the time being. I expect a lot of aftermarket kits to make it like big and butch, and I will wait for Maruti to maybe come up with a wider option. Even with this option, it's not that bad. What do you think? Drop on the comments, and which one of the acronym you think fits best. We'll wait to hear. And the next one, you take care. I go swimming.